What's happening, everybody, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Open Studio, coming to you right here on your favorite DSTV channel 263. With myself, I go by the name of Brad Roman, and today is going to be a rather interesting show as we'll be chatting all about the Street Modz Motor Show. What is that all about? Well, to help us in on that, we are joined by two amazing guests in studio, Reddy D as well as Zabi, who will give us all the lowdown with regard to that. Gentlemen, welcome to Open Studio.
Thank you very much for having us.
Fantastic. Now, before we get into actual conversation with regards to the Street Modz Motor Show, to our viewers at home, please tell us all about the work that you're doing.
On my side, people know that I'm really, really passionate about cars, bikes, community, especially music, of course. Over the last couple of years, I've been very involved with stunt driving, racing, and people know me for being involved with the drift scene as well. So I've been busy with a development program for youth, and it's got to do with road safety as well. Okay. So that's kind of my focus point these days when it comes to motoring and so forth.
Okay, and you, Zabi?
I do the Street Modz Motorshow. Look, the show we've started off about 12 years ago. We started off in Retreat Civic, and then from there we've grown to Good Hope Centre, Velodrome. Now the Good Hope Centre, it's a film studio. We can't do our shows there anymore, so we've gone outside. Maynardville Park, out in Wynberg. So we're doing our show there. We're getting cars from all over the country coming in, stunning cars, hot rods, our normal souped-up cars, Ferraris, whatever. Yeah. We'll have quite a bit. Bikes, motorbikes also.
Oh, fantastic. Now, really, to our viewers at home, what is the Street Modz Motor Show all about?
I think the main thing is, it's a really awesome space that kind of cater for the lifestyle that we're into, and also to exhibit what's really out there, in the community, in the country, and so forth. People that's got this really, really creative mind spaces or mindsets, they come there with their vehicles because they're building all these custom cars. It's a good space to exhibit that as well. It kind of encourages a family environment as well. Yeah. We also know that a lot of young people are into the custom car scene as well. So if you've seen it, you're going to have a blast. If you haven't seen it to experience, you're even going to have a blast as well, because there's so many interesting things to look at, and it caters for all different sorts of tastes as well. So for me, I'm very much into my Japanese cars and all these things. I've grown up with the Fords and the Nissans and all these types of stuff. So the things that Zabi actually spoke about with regards to the hot rods, that is still a scene that I'm learning about as well, because hot rodding came way before our generations as well. But there's a lot of awesome things that you can experience out of that. And of course, there's music, and there's different vendors and traders as well. Yeah. And my understanding is that the sponsors have got something really phenomenal lined up, for those attending the show. So it's kind of that atmosphere, and that really excites me.
Sounds like a lot of fun, man. And also, Zabi, before you guys started with Street Modz Motor Show, you obviously saw a need, right, an aim and a vision as to why you want to establish this show. Please tell us more about that.
Okay, the show I actually started off because, as I said, was in Retreat Civic. We took it to the community. We didn't want to go to Good Hope Centre because, first of all, the community maybe couldn't get to Good Hope Centre. So we started off in Retreat Civic. It was in the heart of Retreat, Cavdan, Grassy Park, and all those places. And the people could get there, the children could get there, and we've grown until we've been like where we are now. The other thing, all the years that we've been running our shows, is we always had a school on board.
Yeah.
And when we have a school on board, we normally give the school all the food stalls to run. We don't charge them a cent, and they need to make money, and all this profit that they get out of the show needs to go back into the school for whatever they need the money for. School fees, books, whatever. I know one school had to redo their toilets, and the money that they made there, they actually put into that, and they redid the toilets. This year we've got South Peninsula, SP, on board with us. And I think there's some students that needing to go over to Japan, the music students. So they're needing funds for these children to get over there. So that's one way of us giving back into our communities also.
Wow, awesome, man. And also, Reddy, who can be part of this?
Sure. You know what? There's so many different the players involved as well. Like Zabi is saying, there's the schools, there's all these different DJs, there's personalities that come on board as well. But the bottom line is that we can actually engage the community as well, and we can kind of cross different generations and age groups and all these things. So I think it's in its essence, it's kind of like a collective decision as well. So Zabi and his wife and his family, they kind of orchestrated everything. They're the catalyst for it, although that they're the gatekeepers and the caretakers. It's something where the community can come on board, and say, sure, this is something that we can feel proud of and to be a part of as well. And the awesome thing is it kind of crosses race, gender, and all these different things as well. And we know that so many people are passionate about cars and motorcycles. And a lot of us think, it's only about racing and spinning and people acting as hooligans. But right down at the bottom, there's a lot of charity work that comes through the clubs, whether it's the bike clubs, through the rallies or the cars and so forth. So these types of shows are something as traditional as Street Mods kind of, bring all those things together as well. So if you haven't experienced it, I'd say come through. The other thing I got to mention, though, that Zabi's pretty modest, sitting here and, as the events organizers, he's actually one of the pioneering car customizers in South Africa, in Cape Town, and he's one of the very, very few guys that can actually mix custom colors and paints. So he plays the role of a chemist and a scientist as well, and with all these other things that go into the paints, like the metallic flakes and all these things. So that's a very, very creative and scientific process as well, and he's one of the few guys that can do these things, which means for somebody like him putting together the show, it kind of gives the show credibility, because it's somebody that understands the culture, the scene, and he's hands-on with building and painting. So that's also, for me, it's really awesome to have this type of connection, because I'm learning so much, from the scene as well, and people like Zabi.
Wow, fantastic, man. I'm just loving today's show as we're talking all about cars, fast cars. Yeah, man, interesting show today on Open Studio. Let's cover a quick ad break, guys. Do not go in it, because when we come back, this topic will obviously just be discussed right here on to the break. We'll see you back right after this.